This here lovely picture of Usopp brothers and sisters was done as a collaborative effort by myself and Mugen the stray dog. Certainly if you like this type of drawing and more, remember to follow me on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more.
One Piece, Chapter 202, The Royal Mausoleum.
Oh, I just love it how everything's just heating up over here. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the epic and far-reaching, awe-inspiring tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, of course, saw us really with two major things happening. Nico Robin taking King Cobra and heading toward the Royal Mausoleum to this history of Alabasta, the Poneglyph, I believe it was called. And then, of course, at the end of the chapter, Croc getting the upper hand on Luffy, hanging him out over with his magical drying up hand over there. And he's kind of like a natural dehydrator, you know, because when I saw Luffy, all I could think of was like Luffy jerky, you know. But he holds him out over and dehydrates him up, and he's kind of mummifying him, and that is how the chapter ends, leaving you hanging. Now, and there's so much shit going on that hopefully I'll be able to get it all and wrap it all up in here. And if I miss something, well, I don't know what to tell you, but you're going to have to just kind of read along and go back, because I probably will screw things up a little bit here and there. So I'm just so nervous. Anyway, so the chapter starts out right where everything left off, as far as Luffy being kind of, you know, hung out to dry, so to speak, literally, over the edge over there, and Croc's holding him, and as Croc's dehydrating him, and Luffy's kind of mummified, and if you remember, right when Luffy got grabbed, he kind of went and he was able to spit up a big ball of water, and then Croc's like, haha, you missed. And I kept thinking in my head, I was like, this thing's going to come back down, hit him in the back of the head, and then Luffy's going to just start pummeling him, you know? That's not what happens, so spoiler alert. No, but so Luffy goes and this all happens in a matter of a few seconds. He dehydrates him, and then Croc goes and drops him down 20, 30 feet below on the ground, and Luffy is just this withered up husk of again, looks like a piece of Luffy jerky, and he's just like, hey, he's like, yeah, stick around for the celebration, you know, Alabasta will be crowning its new king, you know, and just the usual monologuing bullshit, the diarrhea that comes out of somebody like Crocodile's mouth. It's like verbal masturbation is what I like to call it. So Croc goes on and on about that, and about how time is short, and I have to get to the Royal Mausoleum, which is west of here. And Luffy, as he's laying there looking like, oh boy, this is not good, you know. He got defeated again by Croc. Croc got the upper hand on him. All of a sudden, they go and they show that a quick little burp of, you missed, you know, when the big ball of water kind of went up. And it went obviously way high up. And then you go and you see it in several panels come down, and it hits Luffy, and all of a sudden he sits up, and he's like, oh, he's like, thank God, I thought I was a goner there, you know? And he's like, I gotta go catch the Croc, you know? He's pissed now, right? And he's like, I saw him go that way. So Luffy starts cruising, you know? So the next portion of the chapter is it's a few pages, and it's all the other Straw Hats and Vivi and Pell they've all broken off into to teams, so to speak. You have, for instance, you have Chopper and Nami. First, you have Usopp and Zoro, and Usopp's goofing around, you know, pretending like he's got a hook and pretending like he's Croc, and Zoro like slaps the shit. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to think like Croc would, you know, think like the enemy, you know." And the bottom line is everybody's searching for, obviously, for this cannon that's going to make this huge explosion, because they've got less than 10 minutes left to save, obviously millions of people from dying. So, and then it goes and it shows, the one that I thought was really funny of note was Chopper and Nami, you know, and Nami's like, can't you smell the explosives? And Chopper's like, are you kidding? I mean, there's this battle going on, right? He's like, the whole damn city smells like explosives. She's like, well, can't you, like, you know, sniff for somebody that smells like they're about to set off a large explosive in the square? And he's like, what the hell does that smell like? And she's like, I don't know, just do your best, you know? And I just thought that was funny, because Nami's always asking people to go above and beyond, like, what their means are, you know? So, just really, really comical, I thought, the way it was portrayed. And then you go and you see, then you see Sanji, and Sanji's like, he goes and stops real quick, and he's like, wait, hold on a second. If the arc and the trajectory comes from a cannon, it's gonna have to be an arc. You know, it's gonna be an arc trajectory, and the cannon's gonna have to be closer. So I'm searching too far away. And then you see him running, and he's like, I have no time to go around, and he just goes and just kicks right through a wall. You know, just because he's a bad mother, but you know, that's what he does. You know. And then you go and you see Pell and Vivi, and Pell's, of course, flying overhead, and he's like, I don't see anything. And she's like, could it be inside a building? What it is it's really trying to show the feverish scamper of all them, just with little time left, trying to go and find who the shooter's going to be. You know, it's ultimately what it is find out who the shooter's going to be. So then the next portion of the chapter goes in, and it takes us, it shows Nico, Robin, and of course King Cobra, and they are now, they've gone into the Royal Mausoleum. There's a secret stairway, and Nico Robin talks to him a bit about, because he's like, what do you want with the pawn glyph anyway, right? And basically we wind up finding out that nobody can really read it, even him. You know, he's a king, he's just supposed to protect it. The royal family's supposed to protect it, he doesn't know what the hell it says. She can read it. And that is why, and that's why we find out, because she even says, she goes, that's why Croc can't kill me. You know, that's why I teamed up with Croc, or that's why he hired me on, or whatever. And that's why he can't kill me, because I can read it. So obviously, it's some kind of hieroglyphics or what have you, some kind of ancient text that nobody, at least other than her, that we know of, can read. And that is going to reveal the location of the Pluton. So, and she even asked him, she's like, you know, and he's like, don't worry about it. And you find out that he can't read it either. And he's just like, you know, I don't know what it said. Because she goes, doesn't it reveal the location? He goes, I don't know. We're just supposed to protect it. And she kind of laughs at him. She's like, yeah, protect it. Ha ha ha, right? Like, don't joke. You know, your whole kingdom just got overthrown and you just got bitch slapped around, you know, even for being a king. You're not protecting shit, right, buddy? You're protecting Jack and shit, and Jack just left town. But, so they're on their way down the hidden stairway and what have you, you know. Then we go and we see it come back to where Tashigi was, and she's kind of collapsed in a heap over there. And as I predicted in the last chapter, which was a pretty easy one, I assume that she's a character that wasn't actually going to die. She is wounded, she's bloodied, she's beaten. She was handily defeated by Nico Robin. However, she was spared and she wasn't killed. So Luffy then all of a sudden appears and he's just like, where's Croc? You know, and I mean, he's mad. You know, he is real mad. And she's just like thinking about it. And then she goes and she thinks about what happened. And it shows kind of her getting beat by Nico Robin. There's arms coming out of her. It looks like she gets her leg, you know, hurt. She gets slammed back. She's bloodied. And then it shows later on in this flashback, it shows Croc walking by and going, ha ha ha, you know, oh, you got your ass kicked by Nico Robin. And, you know, and then he makes fun of her too, you know, where's your little Captain Smoker, you know? And that's another thing too. Smoker's been gone for a while, but I think he went to get the cavalry, and I think Smoker's going to come back here hopefully very soon in full force to go and help to, you know, to help to quell this whole rebellion deal and take back and really ultimately reinforce, you know, Luffy and the gang and help everybody out. So that's just my prediction, but because he's been gone mysteriously now for 20 or 30 chapters and we don't know why he left, so I'm assuming reinforcements. But back to the story over here. So Tashigi goes and she goes through this whole, you know, flashback of Croc making fun of her and, oh yeah, you know, and if you want idealistic this and that, and you know, you should go hang out at, you know, Navy headquarters, and you know, basically just being the big dick that he is what he was doing, you know, making fun of her for actually trying to stop them and their criminal organization. So Tashigi goes and she's thinking about all this really quick in her head when Luffy's going and he's just like, where's Croc? You know, and he's getting really frustrated. So he asks again and she's just like, he went that way to the mausoleum, you know. So Luffy's like, thanks, and he just takes off in a trail. You know, there's like like the Roadrunner, you know, beep beep, and he just goes and takes off, you know. So Tashigi then goes and kind of collapses again, and certainly she's looking a little worse for wear, not very good. So we wind up then going and seeing Luffy, of course, and he's, you know, going after them, but he's gotten his ass kicked pretty good over here. He's taken a licking for sure, and you know, he's been dehydrated out. He was stabbed through with the hook, and really I like his resolve and his tenacity. And I've said that before, but what I really like is how nothing is really major to him. It's just kind of like, whatever. Because he goes, and as he's running towards the mausoleum, right, and he's like banging off of stuff, and he's starting to fall down, he's just like, oh God, I can't even hardly stand. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I ate plenty of meat. And he's just like so dim-witted in his way of thinking, but it's not, it's dim-witted on one hand, but on the other hand, it's just so straightforward thinking, like, this is what has to happen. I have to beat Croc. I got to kick his ass. That's just what I got to do. That's what I'm here to do, you know. And I ate meat, so I should be good to do that. And then he goes and he's bleeding, obviously, from his wound when he was ran through by Croc some chapters ago. And he goes and he's like, you know, and geez, it's just a little cut. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? It's just a little cut. You got stabbed through your body, in one end, out the other, you know. But it wasn't a clean exit like a bullet. It was a fucking hook. Anyway, so, but those are some of the things that I respect about him, about Zoro, even about Sanji, is that, I mean, these guys, you know, Sanji, I got more broken bones, you know, and Zoro just gets, like, fucked up, and he just loses, like, you know, pints of blood, and he's just like, oh, I gotta lay down for a little bit. So it's definitely cool to see these characters. The chapter ends shortly after that, though. Luffy kind of goes and he bangs into a wall and looks like he passes out. And it's not looking good. We wind up going and seeing just a page or two of Croc going and kind of coming up on. He gets into the Mausoleum after them, and we wind up seeing Nico Robin is reading, it looks like, or trying to decipher this poneglyph, which is like this big block that has a bunch of hieroglyphics on it. And he comes in, and of course is, he's a wow, hidden stairwell, and he's kind of just doing his little inner monologuing thing. But ultimately, the chapter ends with, there's only like 4 minutes until the explosion. They show the tick-tocking of the clock. And then they go and they show, Luffy, and Luffy's passed out and just laying in a pool of blood, and Tashigi's hurt, and Zoro's just, and it's not looking good is the point, you know what I mean? Obviously, King Cobra is in danger of being killed, of course, after he's of no use to them anymore, and just the whole kingdom is in danger of falling. So it really kind of leaves you on that, like, oh shit note, And I know, too, that a lot of people have been saying not to ask any more questions about Nico Robin. Things will be revealed in the next few volumes, and I'm sure Oda will go into a nice little thing with her past and everything else, so I'll just kind of leave it at that one. But really, what I would like to know is, where did you get on at One Piece? Where was One Piece at when you started reading it, or watching it, or both? Were you in the 200s? Were you in the 300s? I know some people have said, I've been, reading it for 8 or 10 years. Well, that would put you at right around here. This time, I've heard others, that they've come on, they've been there since the beginning. Others have been on since chapter 400. So leave that answer in the comments down below. What chapter approximately, or arc, or what have you, did you start in on One Piece? So that is the chapter question. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching you in the next one, Nation.
I do not like this black and white, but if you do not subscribe, we will fight.